Shutterstock Music.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode. No, not just another episode, another season of Black College Experience, the premier HBCU sports podcast. I am one half of your Black College Experience team, and the CEO, founder, and leader of Black College Experience, the wonderful and awesome Keisha J. Kelly. How you doing, Kels?
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another season of Black College Experience. We did have to take a vacation. Yes. We had to recoup. We had to get it back together to refocus. Thank you to everybody that has been tuned in to all our social media pages. If you're rolling with us right now, of course, that number is 719-373-6861. That PIN number is 49170. If you want to call in and have questions during this show, you can always catch us at Spreaker.com. Download those apps, Spreaker and Spotify. So you can download those apps here, listen to us. You can replay, go back, listen to what we talked about, whatever you missed. But if you do have questions, again, you can call in and talk to us. Two things before we even get this thing rolling. I know BJ is on the road. I talked to BJ earlier, so I hope you have a safe trip back to Huntsville. Be safe on the road. Right. And then the second thing, while we were off radio, my co-host celebrating his 39th birthday.
Yes, indeed.
And the crowd goes, wow. Yes. So happy belated birthday to Derek. That's 1 year from being 40. He's almost 4 years old. I know. I'll be 39 in December if God says the same, but happy belated birthday. I'm sure you had a lot of fun. Birthdays are always fun.
I did. I had a normally I don't do much for my birthday, but it was a year anniversary of my sister's passing, and my sister was a person who liked to celebrate life, and so I decided, I'm going to celebrate my birthday like my sister would celebrate. So I did things all week with friends, had a good time, and then, hung out with my daughter, of course, and my mom.
Absolutely.
So, man, let's get this thing popping. We have somebody on. Let's see who that. That's probably PP, who calls in every show when he can. So we're going to see if he's going to come back. But, while we were off, a lot happened. I mean, Kels, you traveled. You went to the SWAC Media Day. You went to, was it SEAC Media Day?
Correct.
And you got a chance to bring the Black College Experience brand to those events and just talk to some of the coaches. So, just give us a little feedback on just how those events went for you, and just let the fans know what it was like for you to be at those events.
Y'all see how long it's been since I've been off, because I can't even remember if we were off for all at the time. Yeah. But it was a great experience. I got a chance to sit down, and I got a chance to talk to both sides of the SEAC, and it was great to actually get to sit down and talk to coaches. Edward Waters' coach, it was a great to finally put a name with a face. That was great to get out and talk to Coach Ruffin. It was great to actually got a chance to talk to the commissioner. And for those of you that don't remember, I traveled to Virginia last January, and that's when we got a chance to do the HBCU, the Spirit of Bowl, or Spirit of America HBCU Bowl. And Neil Malbon, which is the founder of such, he was at SEAC Media Day, so I got a chance to catch up with him once again. And we talked about some things that we want to do in the future and some things that we're working on. And he was the one that actually introduced me to Commissioner Moore. And so we had some great things that we talked about. Of course, got a chance to catch up with Coach Freeman, which, for people that don't know, they're very excited about this inaugural bowl. They're going to be playing in the Black College Football Hall of Fame game in Canton, Ohio, which will be Alabama A&M and the Morehouse Maroon Tigers, which this is a it's a really big game. And for people that don't know, also it will be televised on the NFL
Yes.
Network. So they're pretty excited about it. I'm excited about it. That is the same day as the Swag MEAC Challenge, which of course is Jackson State and Bethune-Cookman. So we're going to be rocking and rolling on TV that whole weekend, it appears. But nevertheless, it was good to see. Now, one of the things that I think a lot of people were trying to, and I'll ask you your thoughts on this. Savannah State, Edward Waters, coming into the SEAC. Well, before I ask the question, where do you think they will end up and what you think they will be like? But with Tuskegee, Coach Slater, they had their, I guess, team meetings, and I was reading how Coach was not pleased at where they finished last season. And, they want to look to change that, as should be. Coach Ruffin is saying with Miles, that season is done. Now it's time for a new season. So, look to see new things, talk to Clark Atlanta's new coach. It's just new things. But back to the Savannah State, Edward Waters, what do you think about these two schools rolling into the SEAC? Or I say Savannah State coming back to the SEAC, rather, and then Edward Waters making a home in the SEAC.
Well, of course, you say Savannah State moving back home to the SEAC. They moved down from Division I back down to Division II. And, we know who achieved stardom coming out of Savannah State while they were at Division II. So, I guess it's a good move for Savannah State. They were struggling in the MEAC. And when you are struggling academically and possibly financially, you have to do what you feel is best for your institution. So I think Savannah State's going to be all right coming back to their roots. Now, Edward Waters, we know Edward Waters has a new athletic director, and also Coach Ruffin, who was a guest on our show last year, Kels. He has big plans for the Edward Waters football program. So a move to the SEAC, which Ed Waters normally is in the GCAC, and they're in an independent conference for football. But if they move to the SEAC, I think that's going to be good for all of the sports. I know they're still in the process of, crossing the T's, dotting the I's of that move. But I think that's going to be great for Edward Waters and Coach Ruffin. I mean, he has been recruiting some studs, unknown studs that people don't know about. But when you look at them, they're football players. I mean, they're athletes. And, I think he has something brewing over there at Ed Waters. And, Kels, we have PP on. So, PP's back. So, PP, thank you for joining us tonight, as you always do. What do you think about Edward Waters and Savannah State going to the SEAC?
Like you said, with Savannah State, they were in the SEAC before, so they made what's the best move for them. With Edward Waters, that could be interesting because what is it? I'm trying to see. No, I don't think they're in the D2.
They were in the GCAC conference.
Yeah,
NAIA.
Yeah. So they'll beat only D2 HBCU, so they don't really have to worry about going against FAMU. Well, FAMU and them other schools, and I think they could until Florida Memorial decides to make their move up eventually down the road. They'll have Florida all to themselves. So Coach Ruffin, we can see how energetic he was as far as, coaching and stuff like that. And I think he could build something special at Water before the Sharks come.
Yes, indeed. But I think it's a good move for both schools. I mean, it adds competition to the SEAC, and that's what you want. You want schools to compete. Last year, Miles shocked everybody and won the SEAC title. I mean, after losing their first 5 games and just storming back, I mean, that lets you know that, hey, it ain't over till it's over. You know what I mean? So, but rolling right along. We have some preseason news to talk about. And, of course, SWAC and MEAC, FCS Stats has North Carolina A&T ranked 20th in their preseason poll. And Alcorn is not ranked, but they had 85 points. Now, that poll includes all FCS schools. But the poll that matters to us mostly is the Box to Row preseason coaches poll, and that's all SWAC and MEAC. And North Carolina A&T is voted number 1, Alcorn State number 2, Keisha, your Jags are number 3, Bethune-Cookman 4, Grambling State number 5. No, Tigers fans aren't happy about that. Number 6 is Florida A&M. Number 7 is Hampton. Number 8 is Alabama A&M. Number 9 is Prairie View A&M, and number 10 is Jackson State. Others receiving votes is South Carolina State, Howard, Tennessee State, and then North Carolina Central. So, Kels, what do you think about the Box to Row preseason rankings?
Well, before we get into the Box to Row, I'll go back to the SWAC Media Day, and as to where, we talked about. No, that's fine. I completely forgot. But I'll go back to the SWAC Media Day, and we'll talk about how, where they were ranked and who would finish first. And honestly, this is the first time in a long time that I have been excited for all 10 schools. And when I say that, I wholeheartedly mean I feel like every school has an opportunity to do something. I said this, and I honestly meant it because I am not biased. Mississippi Valley is going to upset some people. Pine Bluff is going to upset some people. Texas Southern is going to upset some people. Those 3 teams this year are going to upset some teams. And nobody sees it coming. They think, oh, it's just Valley, it's just Pine Bluff, it's just Texas Southern. Those 3 teams are going to upset some people this season.
Well,
they're going to upset some people.
Here's the thing, Kills. Last year, we had Grambling on the ropes, dead in the water to beat them in their home stadium. Had we been able to hold on and win that game, we would have had like all Graham fam just pass out right in the stand. They would just had to come collect them all up because they would have all passed out and fainted. But unfortunately, we let Grambling escape. Now, I said the same thing. Predicting that my Delta Devils are going to, may not have a winning season, but we're going to be competitive. We're going to not be a pushover this year. I think Coach Dancy has my Delta Devils, PP and our Delta Devils are primed to compete, and that's what we want to see.
Correct.
For years we have been the government of the SWAC, and we're tired.
And I think he's excited. I think Coach Dancy is excited because I did. That was the first team I sat down and talked to. The first team I sat down and talked with at SWAC Media Day, and they did. They seemed super excited. He's super excited, I can tell. The team seems super excited about the upcoming season. But again, it's going to be some upsets because we already have, we look at what the predictions are, but we know the game has to be played. And then we look at where people drafted and what the passes happened. But it's going to be some upsets. It's going to be some upsets this season. And a lot of great things, of course, have happened in the SWAC. I mean, you come off of now there is a partnership with JetBlue as to wherever the team is, football, basketball, baseball, whatever, the team has to fly somewhere. They can actually charter a plane with JetBlue, which is the partnership, and they can just get on the flight and fly the team to where they're going. So Dr. McClellan is doing a lot of stuff. To say he's only been there a year, the man has made a lot of moves. He's made a lot of moves. He's doing a lot of great things. So I'm super excited. But again, it's going to be some competition. It's going to be some upsets. I can say that Valley won't beat Southern because Southern does not play Valley this year, so we can guarantee that. But however, Texas Southern
gave us all on the
season. Texas Southern is on our team, so anything can happen. But it's going to be some interesting games going on in the SWAC. And nevertheless, back to the Box to Row, North Carolina A&T, I can see that. Again, we're going off predictions from the past. So of course, naturally, A&T, Alcorn, naturally, will be your 1 and 2. That's natural. But again, we know that these games have to be played, and anything can happen, injuries and things can happen. So, we just have to kind of wait and see. But I know we're all waiting on game 1. Everybody's game 1. We're all waiting for the season to kick off.
Yes. And just to run down the SWAC preseason poll, as far as the predicted order of finish, of course, in the East, Alcorn has been the beast of the East the past couple of years, and they just have been so dominant over the past couple of years. They are ranked number 1 in the East. Number 2 is Alabama A&M. Number 3 is Jackson State. Number 4 is Alabama State, and they have our usual spot, our Devils PP, number 5 in the SWAC East. In the West, Kills, of course, your Southern Jaguars are predicted to win the West, followed by Prairie View and surprising Grambling State, number 3, and then Texas Southern with new coach McKinney at number 4, and Arkansas Pine Bluff at number 5. But here's the thing with Pine Bluff. The young man they had at quarterback was a true freshman. When he was coming out of New Orleans, he lit up the scoreboards. And I was wondering, I made a post in some of our social media groups, and everybody was, oh, he's not good enough. He's not good enough to play quarterback in the SWAC. The young man, Scholar, the young man had a very good true freshman season. And I was wondering why nobody was offering this kid. I mean, the guy he can run, he can throw, he's a leader. And I'm so glad that Arkansas Pine Bluff stopped him from, going to Division II, to where he can come in the SWAC and showcase his ability, because we need players like that. And as a true freshman, I mean, he's now probably going to be the starting quarterback for the Arkansas Pine Bluff for 4 years, and is going to assault their record books. So look out for Arkansas Pine Bluff in the years to come, because this young man is a dynamic athlete. And like you said, Kels, you did predict Arkansas Pine Bluff, to shock some people this year. But getting Star Wars to believe that the doormats have a chance to kick the doors open, they don't want to believe that. They just want to believe that the old school is just going to keep it like it is. But I'm hoping that changes, Kels.
Absolutely, and I did. I got a chance to also sit down with their coach, and I got a chance to sit down and talk to their AD. They were excited as well. Now, the funny thing is, if you notice that we started getting a lot of, I don't know how often you check the Black College Experience email. If you notice we started getting a lot of emails from Pine Bluff, it's because I got a chance to talk to them at SWAC Media Day, and I was like, hey, make sure y'all send y'all stuff, because we don't get stuff from y'all. It's like, we don't know. Well, to find out their CAD, he is a graduate of Southern University. So he was like, all right, just give me the information, and he just started sending it. So, I did. Like I said, I was like, it doesn't matter. You got to have the mentality. Even if you think you're going to be defeated, you can't play scared, and you can't let people think that you think you're going to lose, even because everybody has to play the game. It doesn't matter who you're playing. You still have to play the game. So I think that it's the whole point of coming out, looking the part, playing the game, and knowing that once you start playing the game, shoot, anybody can win the game. It's X's and O's on both sides. Anybody can play the game. Anybody can win the game. And at the end of the day, it's whoever wants it the most. But on that note, let's take a commercial break and come back to this.
All right, we'll be right back with more Black College Experience.
I already knew that I was going to go to college, from a young age. I definitely want to major in political science. After that, I'm going to get my law degree. Then I'm going to come back to Detroit, boost the economy, become the mayor or something, try to make the situation better for other people. I feel like I owe it to the city. I'm determined. It's going to happen. My name is Justin, and I am your dividend.
All right, we're back with more Black College Experience, and we're just talking about, expectations in the SWAC. Go ahead, Kels.
And then, again, I just really feel like, we're going back to Pine Bluff, and I don't want to harp on them, but we're going back there. We know where they finished last season. And every team has the ability to come in and do the opposite of what they did last season.
I agree with you, and adding talent to each team adds new players. I mean, Grambling, you got to look at Grambling. Who would have thought? Coach Fobbs had a little, I guess you can say, a little mini dynasty going on over there at Grambling, and now they fell from being predicted first to now predicted third. So your Southern Jaguars, Coach Odoms, being right there on the cusp of, I guess, solidifying Southern's place at the top of the West. And they've done this without having to have spring practice for the past couple of years. So for the first time last year, they were able to have spring practice. And they bring back a very talented quarterback in Ladarius Skelton, and he is ready to, I guess you can say, I don't know if he's going to catch Austin's records, but he's ready to try. He is a very dynamic runner. He's also improving as a passer. I think the Southern Jaguar offense is going to surprise some people because, they lost some talent. They lost, can't remember the wide receiver who transferred and left and went to Arkansas. But Ben is back at running back, so he's ready to end his senior season on a good note. But hey, when one man leaves, the next man got to step up, Kels.
Absolutely, and we have no choice. We just have to look ahead and what of course, what we're building or what they're trying to build is what Coach Clark, what they all call the hashtag culture shift. It's a different culture, and I not only look at that as Southern University, but I look at the culture shift as a culture shift not only for us but for every HBCU and everybody that's bringing in this talent, these people that are choosing our HBCUs now, and they're understanding that I have a place. I can go play at your Southerns, at your Alcorns, at your Valleys, at your Jackson State. I can get this playing time at these HBCUs as to where I'm going to these Power Fives and these bigger schools, and I'm going to sit on the bench. So, we know that, of course, these bigger schools and these other schools, and, it's not always even those, and some of these JUCOs, they go to these schools and it's like, okay, they feel like they get a better chance, and that's fine. And we know they won't all choose HBCUs, but like I said, just at least give them the option. Give them the option to choose.
I agree with you. And just, I'm really hoping that your prediction comes true for my Delta Devils. As far as us shocking some people. But I just can't wait until the football season gets started. It's going to be an exciting season. But we have more sports in the SWAC that start in the fall. Also, soccer. I want to run through the preseason soccer awards for the SWAC. And let me just pull it up here. All right. Howard won the SWAC championship last year, but I think Grambling was the regular season champion. I have that here as well, so pull that up. I'm also waiting for volleyball too. Yes, Grambling with a 9-1 record in the SWAC were the SWAC regular season champions, but Howard won the tournament. Now, first team all SWAC soccer at forward. We have JoJo Bernal out of Prairie View at forward. Tegan Elia out of Alabama State. At forward, Aaliyah Sawyer out of Howard. Yes, Howard, since the MEAC does not sponsor soccer, they play their soccer in the SWAC. Midfielder, Begona Rodriguez Bravo out of Texas Southern. Midfielder, Kaylee Pina out of Grambling State. Midfielder, Jayla Carter out of Jackson State. Midfielder, Thalia Boucher out of Howard. Defender, Florence David out of Grambling State. Defender, Kendall Mockley Howard out of Howard. Defender, Jordan King out of Grambling. Goalkeeper, Chioma Erican out of Southern. Second team, forward, Mia Marshall out of Texas Southern. Forward, Ayana Gooden out of Alabama A&M. Forward, Lauren McKinney out of Southern. Midfielder, Megan Fielding out of Alabama State. Midfielder, McKenna Lupuri out of Alabama State. Midfielder, Victoria Thornton out of Howard. Midfielder, Alexis Mack out of Prairie View. Defender, Ashley Thomas out of Alabama State. Defender, Elena Manning out of Alabama State. Defender, Brooke Laniero out of Texas Southern. And goalkeeper, Alea Howard out of Howard. And the offensive player of the year is Begona Rodriguez Bravo out of Texas Southern. And defensive player of the year is Alea Hightower of Howard. And goalkeeper of the year is Chioma Erickson out of Southern. Howard is predicted to come in first, followed by Grambling, Alabama State, Prairie View, Texas Southern, Alabama A&M, Jackson State, Arkansas Pine Bluff, Mississippi Valley, and Alcorn Kills. So congratulations to those young ladies as they get ready to start, I guess you can say, the other football, soccer.
Right. Correct.
So we got 2 footballs in the SWAC, European, I guess you could say, football, soccer. And I want to try to check out some of the Southern Lady Jag soccer games this year. I'm going to have to get over there. We've had their coach on. So I definitely want to get out there and at least try to go to at least 1 or 2 of the games this year, because I have a daughter that plays soccer. So get her out there. Who knows? I may get her. She may want to go to Southern and play soccer, Kels. Can you think of that? What do you think about that? Me being a Delta Devil and my daughter a Jaguar.
Go ahead. Absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm sure Coach Funno would be. I'm sure he would still be there. So absolutely, we wouldn't mind it. And just think about it. It doesn't matter because I'm a Southern Jaguar. My twin sister is an Alabama Ed-Nim Bulldog, and then my nephew will be a Tennessee State Tiger. So we take them however it comes. It don't matter however you come, as long as you see you will.
I agree with you. I mean, definitely. But I would love to see my daughter, go to my alma mater. But I seriously doubt that she would want to go to school up in the Delta. But who knows? She may decide she wants to follow in her papa's footsteps. But also in the SWAC, we have some preseason awards to talk about also. Now, we know FCS stats. They have 3 awards that bear legends' names. The Walter Payton Award, the Jerry Rice Award, and the Buchanan Award. And very rarely are these awards given to or awarded to HBCU players. But, we are on the list for them. So just to run down this, pull this up. On the Payton Award, got 3. Let's see, Kaylin Newton out of Howard, Noah Johnson out of Alcorn, and the quarterback, and Deshaun Waller also out of Alcorn. The 3 HBCU players listed for the Payton Award. For the Buchanan Award, North Carolina A&T's McCain is named to the Stats Buck Buchanan Award, and Alcorn State's Solomon Muhammad was also named to the initial list. Now, Jerry Rice Award is going to be given to the top freshmen. We don't know what freshmen are going to excel right now, so we'll definitely update that list when that list comes out. But sometimes that kind of bothers me that our legends, named for these awards that are really, really given to an HBCU player. What do you think about that, Kels?
I know we've had this conversation before, and I feel the same way that you have a award. Walter Payton, you have these awards that they're not distinct for our kids, and I feel like if you're gonna do that, then you either need to pick out one of our kids, or you need to change the name. That's just all it is, and I think that it's not. It's just like you have other things. You got the Heisman. You have other stuff. So I feel like you should be able to distinctly have a name. That's fine, but you should also have it where we also qualify at the same time.
I agree. PP, what do you think about that? Our legends named for these awards that rarely get awarded to an HBCU player, the institution that the named players played at or played for.
Oh, I ain't never like that, especially when you got arguably the best running back ever, no doubt best wide receiver ever, and one of the best defensive players of all time at all levels, and yet they just, and when it come down to the finals of those awards, we always seem to get the short end of the stick as far as that's concerned. So I've never liked that.
Right. I mean, I just feel like those awards for those individuals named should be reserved for a player that attends an HBCU, whether it's the SWAC, MEAC, CIAA, SEAC, or an independent HBCU. I understand
Correct.
I understand the FCS stats. They rank and cover all FCS schools, but that's just my perspective, and I think we're 3-0 for that opinion as well. But before we jump over to the MEAC, there's a bit of hot news, and we talked about this briefly, Kels, right before the start of the show. There is a change at the top of Prairie View A&M Athletics. Prairie View A&M President, Athletic Director Fred Washington has resigned, not president. A vice president of athletics director has resigned. It was confirmed by Dr. Ruth Simmons and reported on Twitter by Mark Berman. He was replaced by the associate AD, get her name, Pete. And Ashley Robinson, our homeboy and also Delta Devil, was also the athletic director. He left with the Jackson State. Washington replaced him. And, now Prairie View Kels, Alicia Pete, associate director of athletics, Alicia Pete is going to be the interim director. I'm hoping that she will get the job. And that will mean that the president of Prairie View A&M is a lady. And the athletic director, if Ms. Pete is given a permanent position right now, she's interim, is a lady. And that means two of the most important positions at Prairie View Kels are run by black women. Now, as a black woman CEO yourself, Kels, talk about how that makes you feel as a black woman in business and a black woman as a CEO and a leader in an emerging leader in your field of business.
I always say, the future is female. I say it, and sometimes we have shoulders that we have to stand on, and we're seeing more and more women that are becoming prominent in these roles, and we're seeing where women are leading these roles, presidents, ADs, coaches. Right. We're seeing more and more women, agents in the NFL, NBA. We're seeing more and more women playing these roles, where they be, African American or Caucasian. We're seeing more and more women come into these roles, and they're no longer gender roles. They're just whoever is skilled and qualified to do it. I do think, it comes right before the season, so I think it's like a shake up there. But, as a woman, I long for the day that we get away from first ever, history breaking news. I long for the day that we get away from that and we can just say, okay, this woman came into, she did, they did, who did, whatever, because we have so many men that are, that saturate this field. And I'll have to tell y'all about a funny story that happened at SWAC Media Day. And it is, sometimes we just have to demand our place as women. We have to demand our places because sometimes it's not intentional, but men are so used to being in the forefront, going ahead, doing things and dominating. They tend to forget, like, hey, there's women in the same field. And I had that same case at SWAC Media Day. But, again, it's sometimes we don't come off. I don't come off as it's just that sometimes I don't explain myself. I don't try to tell people why I belong. I deserve a seat at the table just like anybody else. That's all it is. I put in the same work, if not more. Most of the time it's more than half of the men. So, I think in these cases when they're deserving, they're just deserving. And whether it be male or female, black or white, I think that if you have the skills, you have the credentials, and you have put in the work, then you deserve the seat at the table. And you don't have to explain why you're there.
Kels, you have earned your seat at the table. I mean, you've earned it.
Thank you.
I mean, I wouldn't be doing sports radio if it wasn't for you. You know what I'm saying? So, I wouldn't be doing HBCU sports radio on Black College Experience if it were not for our friendship and you seeing something in me and helping me get a chance to do something that I've wanted to do for a while. And then growing together as business partners and teammates. I mean, you have earned your seat at the table. Like when I first met you and you were telling me about your journey, we're not gonna go too much into this. And then from before I came to where you are now, you've earned your seat at the table. So, women deserve a seat at the table. Women deserve a chance to showcase their ability to lead athletics, whether it's coaching women, coaching men, or being administrators. I mean, being a man doesn't mean that a woman can't do this job. I mean, it's about decision making. It's about paying attention to what people want and how people respond to certain things. And of course, more detail than I'm giving, but men and women can do the job. Definitely women can do the job. So
absolutely. And I do. It sometimes it goes without saying. I do. I learn a lot of stuff from you guys. I learn a lot of stuff with guys. Of course, you learn. I mean, naturally, if guys play football, coach football, y'all been in that circle, so y'all know. So it's like, okay, you learn a lot more from the guys, and you're going in these circles, and you hear stuff, and you learn stuff, and you see stuff, and stuff that I'm not. I'm a woman, so I'm not naturally I'm not going to naturally be in the locker room. That's to where a man that plays football, they know that locker room how that whole thing goes. So you learn a lot. And I think the person that knows everything is at a standstill. The person that is still learning is the person that's going to always succeed. Because if I ever stop learning, I'm in trouble. Every day is a different day to learn something different from somebody because we don't know everything.
And that's even some men don't know everything. And so you have to learn. Like I played football in high school. That's the extent of my football playing experience. And I didn't even start. I was a bench warmer. So everything I've learned in football, I've learned by watching and learning from other people. So, I mean, some people may feel like I shouldn't be doing it because I didn't start. Or I wasn't a good athlete, but I know the game of football. And being whatever gender you are, it doesn't matter. If you can learn the game, if you can analyze, if you can report, if you can give good insight, and which you do, and I see, and just reading some of your articles that you've written over the years, which I'm gonna still keep picking on you, but you need to start back, just to put your voice out there again. I mean, you definitely deserve it. But here's one note about this change at the top. When Ashley left, AD Pete was named interim. Now, she wasn't chosen for the position the first time. She's also a Prairie View alum. Brought in Washington. He leaves, retires, which he's also had a long, distinguished military career. I think ADP is the right person for this job. I mean, I'm not trying to tell the president of Prairie View what to do, but it's just something about someone that went to a school, graduated from a school, and then comes back to work at that school and works their way up to a top position. They're going to give their all. They're going to try and give it the more than a good college try because it's their school. They want their school to succeed, So I would love to see Coach Pete be given this position permanently. I can definitely say with her career, she's earned it. With her running the athletic department after Ashley left, and then when AD Washington came in, going back to being her position, now being thrust into the interim position again to showcase her ability as far as, hey, I can run this athletics department. I hope President of Prairie View gives her this position because I really feel she's earned it. I just feel like Ashley set a nice table for AD Washington. Unfortunately, he wanted to resign and retire, and now AD Pete can take the baton and put her spin on Prairie View's athletic department as her being an alum of Prairie View Kills. And before we jump over to the MEAC, and so while we're talking about women administrators, have to say this. Of course, you brought up Commissioner McClellan. He's also my homeboy. We went to the same high school, Callaway High School. He has hired a woman administrator as well. The SWAC has added Adina Pooler to the league office staff as associate commissioner for internal operations and senior woman administrator. Pooler arrives to the SWAC after previously serving 10 years as the assistant athletic director for academics at Texas Southern. Now, when we had Commissioner McClellan on, we talked about ways to improve the SWAC as far as academics. We're tired of the NCAA dinging our schools, putting us on probation for the APR. I think with her serving as an academic AD, I got a feeling she's gonna, take the ball and run and help our SWAC institutions, stay away or stray away from having the NCAA come knocking on our doors saying that, hey, we're gonna ding you for this. So, I can't wait to see her impact on the SWAC. We know what Dr. McClellan's impact has meant to the SWAC, and AD Pooler, Assistant Commissioner Pooler, I think she's going to be a great addition to the SWAC. And also, Kels, another woman senior administrator in an athletic senior position, Kels. Like you said, the future is female.
I think it is. It's a great move. And I think that Dr. McClellan is putting a lot of great people in place, not only her, but I always commend the whole appointment with Jason Cable, which is a friend of mine. We're from the same hometown, same high school. Of course, he is also he's been there since December. I think that Dr. McClellan is doing a lot of great things and just appointing these people that I think are going to bring the SWAC forthcoming, and they're going to do some great things. And I saw some great things with the SWAC office. And so it's super exciting to see when you make these appointments that it's skill-based. It's not really, okay, you're a man, you're whatever, you're a woman, whatever it is. I think he's really making the right decisions. And being that he has a handle with everybody in every SWAC school, he knows exactly what to do and where to touch. So I think it's a good thing.
Right. I like this. I can't wait to see where we go. Now, we've talked about the SWAC enough. We're ready to jump over to the MEAC. In the MEAC, football, we already know who's ranked number one. They're ranked number one in the box to row poll, and that is the defending Celebration Bowl champions, the North Carolina A&T Aggies. Have been the bullies of the MEAC for a while. They are ranked number one in the MEAC, followed by Bethune-Cookman, then Florida A&M, Howard, North Carolina Central, South Carolina State, Norfolk State, Morgan State, and now Delaware State. So now with Savannah State moving on to the SEAC, we now are left with 9 teams in the MEAC. So with 9 teams, Kills, we have a conference championship game with our 10. The MEAC does not have a conference championship game. Now they're down to 9. Is it too off the wall or too out of bounds to think that maybe an independent HBCU could possibly be joining the MEAC, possibly, or moving up to join the MEAC? What would you think about that if that happened?
Who would join the MEAC? Who do you think would join the MEAC?
I hope nobody leaves the SWAC. But maybe Hampton will come home. Who knows?
I don't think that the leverage for anybody in the SWAC, I don't care which school, I don't think the leverage would be there to even go to the MEAC. But I do think, if there was a possibility, I think it would be a good thing. But I don't think I can see anybody leaving. I couldn't see anybody doing it. I just couldn't see anybody doing it.
The likely candidates would be Hampton to come home or Tennessee State to leave the OVH, but I don't think OVC. But I don't think they're going to do that. The next kind of dominant HBCU program, but their NAIA would be Langston or West Virginia State maybe, but they're in 2 tiers below. So that would be a big jump for them to jump up to the MEAC. Do I think Langston can compete? Well, you saw firsthand how Langston competed with your Jaguars last year before that game had to be called. So I would like to see a team added to the MEAC. I know that's kind of off the wall to say right now, but I would love to see the MEAC play a championship game. That would really put them on equal footing with the SWAC. As far as, the SWAC has that extra game where the MEAC champ doesn't right now, and they're a little more rested. They get an extra week and a half of rest and not having to have a wear and tear in their bodies from playing a grueling game, which, Alcorn had to play against your Jaguars before they were able to claim the 2019 SWAC championship, 2008, SWAC championship. So I would love to see that. That's just me. wanting to see that. But North Carolina A&T.
I honestly, when you talk about who would possibly join, I didn't think about it. I actually would like to see Coach Reed, and I would like to see what Tennessee State would be like, because Tennessee State has been were they in the SEAC? Tennessee State were they in the SWAC? Tennessee State has moved. So I would like to see Tennessee State come.
I don't remember. I didn't pay attention enough back then to know where Tennessee State played.
Well, I don't want to say SWAC. They might have been SWAC. They might have been SWAC.
I don't know if they were in the SWAC or not. I'm going to have to Google that. If anybody's listening and can let us know what HBCU conference Tennessee State used to be a part of, hit us up in the chat or hit us up on our Facebook page. I'm definitely going to Google that.
Okay.
But,
they have been in a few. Go ahead. I'm listening. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, I was gonna talk about Unity Francois, but I forgot Hampton's not in the MEAC anymore. But to go ahead with MEAC, jump into volleyball, and then we'll get to Hampton later. Volleyball, preseason volleyball in the MEAC. Preseason volleyball awards go to the following ladies. First team, Jordan Jefferson, Bethune-Cookman. Mia Javon Coleman, Coppin State. Maria Yvette Garcia, Florida A&M. Kira Porter, Howard. Journey Tipton, Howard. Fola Wilson, Howard. Courtney Pitt, North Carolina A&T. The predicted order of finish, Howard in the Northern Division, Howard predicted first, followed by Maryland Eastern Shore, Morgan State, Coppin State, Delaware State, and Norfolk State. In the Southern Division, Florida A&M and Bethune-Cookman are tied for first. North Carolina A&T is third. North Carolina Central is fourth. And South Carolina State is fifth. So, and I like volleyball. That's one of the sports that, I definitely support my daughter playing. She played last year, and we're definitely going to get more volleyball coverage this year for you SWAC fans. Did you find what conference Tennessee State used to be in, Kels?
I'm still trying to figure it out. Because I don't know why I want to say, I don't know why it's, I don't know. I've looked over it before. That I do know.
All right. Now
I know I have something before.
Staying in the MEAC, Delaware State has a women's lacrosse team, and they have hired a known program builder to guide the women's lacrosse team. We have three HBCU squads that play lacrosse, and now Delaware State has hired Pamela Jenkins as the third women's lacrosse team head coach in Delaware State history.
I was right. They were in the SEAC. I knew I had saw that they were in the SEAC before. Yeah. Oh, it's been a lot of schools that were in the SEAC that left. Oh, yeah. Wow. Okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Teams have jumped around, moving around, and that happens. I mean, teams feel like, hey, we need to move here. So I would love to see Tennessee State come home to be an HBCU conference. So, they're over there slumming it in the OVC.
Okay, so shout out to Morrell Carter. Morrell did just send me this text. He said Tennessee State was in the Midwest Athletic Conference in the 40s, 50s, and 60s. That conference had Wilberforce, Bluefield, Kentucky State, Grambling, Central State, Lincoln of Missouri, and Jackson State until 1958. Thank you, Morrell. They were also in the SEAC. They were also in the SEAC. Thank you for being so diligent and sending us all that information.
And see, since PP left, guess what position I'm in? Since Morrell is listening, I'm always surrounded by Jaguars.
A Jaguar will always come through.
I'm always surrounded by Jaguars. Always. It never fails. I'm always surrounded by y'all. But yes. So congratulations to Coach Jenkins. She's going to lead the Delaware State women's lacrosse team. Hopefully, she can build them into a pretty good squad as she's done in her career. She comes to Delaware State from Notre Dame College in South Utica, Ohio. She's also a former assistant director of athletics and senior woman administrator, Kels. So she has coaching ability and also administrative assistance. So I think she's going to be a help to Delaware State if they use her athletic administration experience to assist the athletic program while she also builds the lacrosse program. I mean, adding someone like that to your coaching staff has to be like a little mini coup in my eyes for Delaware State. Now, I want to talk about this. Hampton, of course, joined the Big South, and they're not predicted to do well in the Big South this year. But the big news coming out of Hampton is they now have a new QB transfer. And this guy, DeAndre Francois, who I know very well from his time at Florida State, he went on a whirlwind tour of HBCU's, Kels. At first, he was thinking about, they were saying he was going to go to Alabama A&M, I think. And then some rumors were saying he might go to Grambling, he may go to, but now he settles on Hampton and, gets in time for fall camp. This is a talented player who's definitely going to help Hampton. I kind of feel bad for whoever was predicted to be the starting quarterback before he decided to go there, because that young man has been the leader of the team, all of the spring, and it was possibly going to be his job in the fall. But when you add a talented player like Francois in, I mean, this guy won 10 games at Florida State in a season. Had some injuries. Florida State had some problems, and he decides to leave for his last year of college football, and he joins Hampton. I would have loved to have had him at Valley. I mean, adding someone of his caliber at Valley definitely would have brought some stars to Valley, or definitely would have brought some coverage to Valley, if he wants people to follow him. But he's gonna get coverage at Hampton as well. I just wanted him to go to Valley. I mean, I would have loved him to go to Valley. Nothing against our quarterbacks there, but just adding a high-profile athlete of his caliber it does a lot for your institution. Speaking of high-profile athletes, and you know me, Kels, I follow women's sports. But this young lady that I'm about to speak about now got her notoriety for playing with boys. And that's Monet Davis, former Little League World Series star. She's going to be playing softball at Hampton.
So I don't know why everybody's acting like this is breaking news, because it's been out. So I don't know if people have been behind and we were ahead. But it's like breaking news all of a sudden. I'm like, okay, y'all, she made this decision like months ago.
Yeah, when she was in high school. She was a senior in high school, when she made this decision.
Right. So I'm like, she already made the announcement months ago is my point. But of course, being that she's going to Hampton now, you already know where my mind went with that conversation with, hey, can we get that interview? That's where my mind is already working on. Can we solidify that actual interview? Can we solidify that, and can we possibly get her on for an interview? I would love nothing more than to get her on. Get her on to do an interview and talk about, her experience of now attending an HBCU, playing for an HBCU, of course, the importance of an HBCU, and, the dynamics and the difference in, if you had chosen another school, and, how often we hear people talk down or talk bad about our schools and all the schools you could have chosen, and why did you choose a Hampton, and, those type things. So I do. I'm really, of course, looking forward to it, absolutely.
Right. And continuing with Hampton, they have also secured a grant for an esports lab. I don't know if you saw my Facebook post, and this wasn't sports, but it was still video game related. A young man won $3 million playing Fortnite. And esports
I did.
And for Hampton to get a grant to create an esports lab at an HBCU, all I did was play video games. Why couldn't they have this stuff out when I was in college? I could probably be a pro esports athlete. How good of a video game player I was back then. Now I suck. I'm old, and my hand-eye coordination is not as good as it once was. And I even have trouble beating a computer now. Because I kind of retired and tried to play it, and now the computer beats me, and I'm like, I don't want to play anymore. But now people are getting paid, getting degrees. They're going to be able to take degrees and coursework toward a degree in esports. Like, I want to go back to school, Kels. Like, can I, maybe if I can see if I can get my old gamer abilities back, who knows, But I think that's great for the young students and potential students of Hampton. Hopefully we'll have another HBCU follow suit, because you want to get into industries while you can. Like your Jaguars got into the medical marijuana market. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to be left out of any technological or any medical as far as industry, because our institutions deserve a chance to be a part of these industries just like PWIs. So kudos to, of course, your Jags for getting into the medical marijuana field like we talked about last year. And now Hampton, securing a grant for an esports lab. I think that's going to be great. I'm definitely going to be following that. Now, we got about 5 minutes left. I want to get these news in. We talked about Langston a little earlier. If Langston, if I think Langston is good enough to compete with schools in the MEAC and the SWAC, but I don't necessarily know if they will be ready to jump up and join the MEAC. But they are predicted to win their conference, the Sooner Athletic Conference, and they are ranked 14th in the AFCA NAIA poll. So congratulations to Langston, looking to have another dominant season. West Virginia State is ranked 3rd in the Mountain East preseason poll. That is their highest preseason ranking ever. And, so even though, we mostly cover, most people only know about the SWAC, MEAC, CIAA, and SEAC. I mean, there are other dominant or decent HBCU football programs, and one coming back, Kills. And this program is led by, as far as athletic department, a former Alcorn State player, Florida Memorial, led by Ernest T. Jones, former Alcorn Brave and also former coach of the Braves. He's now the director of athletics. They announced earlier in mid-year that they were going to bring back the football program at Florida Memorial. Well, now they're ready to announce who the head coach is going to be, Kills. And I'm going to be watching Twitter so that I can tweet from the Black College Experience Twitter who the new head coach is going to be for Florida Memorial. The announcement is set tomorrow, August 12th at 6 p.m. at the FMU Wellness Center, located at 15800 Northwest 42nd Street in Miami Gardens. So I remember, Kells, when Florida Memorial announced that they were going to bring back football, and a young lady said, well, can we get mentioned on your podcast now? Well, here you are. We're talking about Florida Memorial, and I'm definitely going to be looking forward to finding out who the head coach is going to be. Definitely going to reach out to Coach Jones or AD Jones, and also the SID Jordan Matthews to try to create a partnership with them so that we can start interviewing the athletes and coaches at Florida Memorial. I just like what AD Jones, I'm so used to Coach Jones, is doing at Florida Memorial. What he wants to build there. You have to realize he's SWAC. So he's used to having football. So with him leading the athletic department and a chance to bring back football, it's natural for him to want to bring back football. I just can't wait to see who he hires as his head coach. I'm excited to see who Florida Memorial will hire, and for the fall 2020 season where they will be on the football field, playing football, competing. Just can't wait to see that.
All right. So as we wrap up, because we are at the bottom of the hour, before we go, first I have to give a shout out to my own alumnus, Ricky Weeks Jr., former, of course, Southern University Jaguar. He was honored as a Milwaukee Brewers Wall of Honor He was inducted along with one of his ex-teammates, J.J. Hardy, into the Hall of Fame. And he did have a 14-year professional baseball career. So shout out to Ricky Weeks for that. Second thing is I would be totally remiss if I did not do this. I try to not cry when I think about it, but we were able to award not one but 2 scholarships, 2 recipients, Bianca Nelson of Southern University and then Danielle Johnson of Howard University. We were able to award the first ever Black College Experience scholarships because of the T-shirt proceeds and the donations and everything that y'all have done as listeners, as supporters, as sponsors. And it does something for me because to see where we started and to see where we've gone, it's always been my vision. It's always been my dream that we were able to do something outside of that. So to see that actually come to fruition, I'm sending off the last scholarship check this week. I had to wait till she get down there. She's going to send me the information, but to see that actually happen, it did something to me. It made me cry. And I actually, of course, once I write the check, it's probably going to make me cry even more. But the process was one that, it makes you feel good, but to see it happen and to see it actually happen, doing something selfless as such was a great thing. And finally, last but not least, before we get out of here, next week, one of my friends, one of your Facebook friends, somebody I'm sure you do know, we are having a guest. This is somebody that I've been friends with maybe 10 years, almost 10 years, and I had no clue, about 10 years. I had no clue. He's been my Facebook friend. I met him when I was still back home in Huntsville when he was playing for the Tennessee Valley Vipers, but I had no idea that he played ball at Jackson State until a couple of years ago. So next week, Lorenzo Breland is going to join us, former Jackson State Tiger. He has also played arena football in Brazil. He's played in Huntsville. He's played in New Orleans. So I told Lorenzo he had to come on. I said, you got to come on. Lorenzo has done a lot of stuff. So I was like this whole time. And I mean, he just had a back to school, he has that back to school bash, and he does that every year. So I'm pretty excited to have him on to talk next week. So y'all tune in next week. We will have, I just call him Joe. I said, Breland, you got to come on. The last time I saw him actually was at Boombox Classic. I got a chance to catch up with him. So Lorenzo Breland will be on next week.
Awesome. Well, that's our time for this week. We're glad to be back talking HBCU sports. Like Kel said, Lorenzo Breland will be on as our guest next week. Go Mob. I can't wait to see what he's been doing, what he's planning to do. I think it's going to be an awesome interview.
Yes, sir.
We are out of here. Have a good night.
Good night.